A very good evening and welcome to the program. This is the Limelight. My name is Simapolo. Now, for the last 4, 5, 6 weeks, the issue that has dominated public space is the Karamoja Iron Sheets scandal. The Karamoja Iron Sheets scandal took a twist when His Excellency, the head of state, President Museveni, took a stance through a pronouncement he made in a letter he wrote to the Right Honorable Prime Minister Robin Nabanja, making his position clear. And in this particular letter, the president made a stern pronouncement when he denounced public officials named in the scam and said they indulged in subversion, undermined the country's security, and should be charged with theft. The president also noted that he will take political action once police has concluded the investigations. President Museveni also said that those who took iron sheets for personal use and are involved in this scam engaged in theft and they should be handled by police. We go down to look at what this stern pronouncement from the president means, and can we ask, or can we say, something big is cooking? And that is why we need to connect with Honorable Robert Centenary. And Honorable Robert Centenary is the former Member of Parliament for Kasese Municipality. Robert is, well, a social scientist, and he has also a certificate in administrative law from the Law Development Center, Makerere. Robert, happy to see you, and let's go straight to the issue. Tell us what you think of the president's letter. And actually, a section of Ugandans think that the president's letter means a vote of no confidence in his top cabinet officials. And some of them actually say those who have been implicated in this scam should have resigned yesterday. What do you think, Robert?
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, viewers. Like you've heard, I'm Robert Centenary. First of all, I think that the president is trying to play another gimmick when he talks about populist politics, to which I know is the architect, because he's the one who started dishing out resources, money and handouts to voters. And then his team, his entire cabinet, is practicing what he tutored them to do. But that aside, I read conscious and unconscious. Theft is theft, whether it is done consciously or unconsciously. I know that the narrative, apparently in terms of service delivery, is not good. And in terms of systems and processes, the NRM regime has really fallen short of its original principles of transparency, because this is the way things have been happening. Actually, if it wasn't for the ministers' relatives being caught in the market, it was business as usual. The unfortunate bit is that some ministers should have been shameful. There is no way you can get iron sheets that are supposed to roof human beings' houses or shelters, and you go and roof a shelter for your goats. When down here in the camp, people are even craving to get a tarpaulin from the OPM, and they cannot get it. Right now it's rainy season. People are standing in their makeshift houses. There are no tarpaulins. The tarpaulins they gave them in 2021 have all gone to the dogs. They're shattered. But then, I think the president has also put himself in the limelight. The whole country, the whole world is watching to see what action he's going to take. Yes, he has promised to do political action, but in the past we have seen him promising the same and again reappointing the victims in two different dockets of ministries. For me, I think that I listened to the Right Honorable Kadaga. She talked about her constituency being hit by hailstorms and government was not able to provide relief services to those people. And the others have also brought an argument of wanting delivery of services in their constituencies. What does that mean? That the president's government has failed to fill in the gap of delivering services to the people, and that is why those members of parliament and ministers are creatively finding ways of filling that gap from the government. The same government that bought iron sheets for the Karamajong is the same government that is supposed to provide services to the people who are struck by hailstorm in Kamuli, to the people of Bukedia whose schools and health facilities are not roofed, to the people of Kasese who are in the camp in Mocha sleeping in grass-thatched makeshift houses without even a single tarpaulin that is going to help them to shelter them from the rain. So, and yet we are seeing URA collecting surplus amounts of money. We need accountability. The president must be personally held accountable for the mistakes of his ministers. When he tries to say he's going to take political action, he's just shielding his lack of ability to supervise his ministers. Yesterday I was seeing iron sheets labeled in the OPM store. Some of them are for Luero, I saw some are for Teso. But why should iron sheets of Luero Renzori lie in the OPM stores? And yet they are victims of the Nyamwamba floods waiting to be given shelter here. Really? Do we really?
Honorable Centenary, well, you talked about some politicians being creative after realizing that their communities have challenges and of course government was not coming in to offer help. Now, the president in his letter categorically noted that that would be seeking cheap popularity and there is no way they can claim they made a mistake. They should answer for their deeds. What do you make of that? And especially at this time when corruption is a big challenge in this country.
Like I said earlier, he's the architect of the cheap politics. If the systems and processes in this government were working properly, the channel of distribution of those iron sheets would have been through the right people and the right procedures. But because there is a lacuna, there is a gap. That is why people are taking advantage of the gaps. There is a missing link between the proper channels of delivery of services, and that is why you see that members of parliament have become small governments in their constituencies, because they are closing in that gap that is supposed to be filled by government. Now, the code of conduct of public servants, even the oath that these leaders take, is clear. The president does not even have to write letters. The law must take its course, and whoever is found culpable should pay for their sins. But again, you're seeing right away from his vice president to the leader of government and cabinet ministers and deputy prime ministers being implicated. Are we seeing a reshuffle? Because yes, ideally, ethically, these people are supposed to resign. But are they the only thieves that we have in this country? If you're to investigate the list of theft, the list of thieves is too long. Just that some people have not come into the limelight, it does not mean that they are not thieves. But also, misallocation and misappropriation of resources is culpable. I mean, the investigation department of police should have done its duty long ago. Now, when you say some people unconsciously received the iron sheets, even when they clearly knew that these iron sheets were coming from the docket of Karamoja where they don't belong, then it defeats logic. There's nothing like conscious or unconscious. Theft is theft, and misappropriation is misappropriation. If these people are returning the iron sheets, I think they have been embarrassed enough. Maybe he should let them return the iron sheets, or those who are paying should pay and caution them. But otherwise, it is a very big shame to his government, and he cannot exonerate himself from this shame because he's the one who has created this system of...
Honorable Centenary, the reports that are streaming in right now indicate that the State Minister for Finance, Honorable Amos Rugorobi, has been arrested, and well, you can pick up from there. As now we have witnessed the Minister for Karamoja spending close to 5 days in prison, and now these reports indicate that another minister has been arrested. Don't you, in your heart of hearts, think that possibly this time around the leadership of this country is serious about corruption?
Well, for me, I think they're trying to cover up something, and some people are just being sacrificial lambs. Let's see, because the line is so long. I saw yesterday the officer at the OPM trying to reject the reimbursement of iron sheets from the Speaker's office. And later on, I think after some negotiations, they received them. So what does that mean? Does it mean that after Rugorobi, somebody else is coming to follow suit? Because all of them received these iron sheets in a wrong manner. It was not a proper channel, and government needs to check the way it operates. These people may be prosecuted, but I'm yet to see if the president is going to take action. Probably we may be seeing the biggest cabinet reshuffle in Uganda that has ever happened, right away from the president, the vice president to the prime minister. I hope we are going to see them being dropped for acting in an unethical manner, knowing that the iron sheets they shared do not belong to them, including the Minister of Finance himself. There is no way you can start fooling Ugandans to tell them that the iron sheets found themselves on your compound. I've just seen something on social media where he's holding money and he's asking, do you need cash or iron sheets? Really? We must not take citizens and this country for granted. When you're a leader, you must be held fully accountable.
Right, Honorable Sidney, let's look at another school of thought from a section of Ugandans who think that by the president pronouncing himself on the matter, amid a process of investigations and amid a judicial process that is going on, they think that the head of state may be interfering with the process of actually bringing the culprits to book. What do you think? Is it true this could be an interference to the judicial process and the investigations that are still going on, or not?
Yeah, sub judice, the law of sub judice is very clear. Once the investigation and court processes have already started, and then you start pronouncing yourself, really, I think that is a very big interference. There must be something you're covering up, especially when you give a directive that those who unconsciously received the iron sheets should first of all bring back the iron sheets or bring the equivalent amount of money. You are already a judge. You're taking the role of the judiciary. That means you're influencing what will be the outcome of the investigations. I think ideally he should have let all those investigation processes, the judicial process, to take place. And then if he wants to take the political direction of a political decision, he takes it after court has pronounced itself. For instance, even if he was really willing to take or not to take the political decision, the moment court finds those ministers guilty of the offense, the code of conduct is automatic that they must lose their dockets. He must dismiss them automatically because they are going to serve the sentence unless otherwise. And the political punishment that he wants to make, there is no other punishment other than dropping those ministers.
All right, thank you so much.
That is the only political punishment he can make because they are political appointees.
So much, Honorable Robert Centenary. I must assure you that honestly, we journalists who worked closely with you miss you in that August House, and we are sure that wherever you are, you must be serving your community in one way or another.
I am serving diligently, service above self. And I'm ready to come back if the people of Kasese municipality deem it necessary. I'm available to serve them. I'm always at the service of my country. And like we say, Uganda is a God-fearing country. Therefore, people should have mercy for those Karamajong who are suffering and don't take away the aid, the little aid that is supposed to bring iron sheets to Karamoja because they live in manyatas which are majorly grass-thatched. It's a very big shame.
Thank you, and thank you so much for your time, Robert Centenary, the former Member of Parliament for Kasese Municipality, and indeed you served your time and you did not take any mabati. And to our viewers, we will continue to take a closer look at what is happening around this issue, and we'll be reporting back to you in our subsequent programming, news, and everything. My name is Simapolo. Let's catch up again next Friday. Good evening and a good week ahead.